This is your prime time forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Dr. Don's Weather is made possible by the Randolph County Commission, East Alabama Waste, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Fincher Fence, Estate Masters, Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Southern Union State Community College and the venue at 5 Points Farms, here's Dr. Don.
Oh, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. You better take a deep breath before you step outside this morning. It is beyond brutal out there. Make sure you give yourself a little extra time and bundle up. Primetime forecast for Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025 on Dr. Don's Weather. Today's forecast is brought to you by Bama Diesel Repair. Get in touch with Mr. Mark Mitchell today for all of your diesel repair needs at 256-201-3685. Heavy equipment and diesel repair. Check them out on Facebook. Get your ducks in a row with Dukas. Jamie Dukas can handle all of your insurance needs in Alabama and Georgia. 256-831-7770. Or you can click the link at the top of the video on Facebook and at the bottom of the video on YouTube for Bama Diesel Repair and Alpha Insurance Agent Jamie Dukas. Extremely dangerous cold air out there this morning, folks. This is not anything to mess around with. Check this out. 21 degrees at this hour in Alexander City, and I question that. I think it's actually colder than that. 13 showing up this morning in Auburn with that snowpack on the ground. It's 12 degrees this morning in Birmingham, 8 degrees in Gadsden, 14 in Talladega, 13 degrees at the venue in 5 Points Farms, and we're showing 12 degrees in Roanoke this morning. Hazardous travel is likely this morning from Tallapoosa, Chambers, Heard, and Coweta counties south. Those are the areas that got the best snow. And, of course, the further south you go, all the way to the Gulf of America, we have snow on the ground. In some areas, I'm waiting for the official numbers to come in, but there's more than 5, 6, and 7 inches of snow on the ground. Along the Gulf Coast, we're talking Alabama Gulf Coast, we're talking Northwest Florida, and just some of the data I'm looking at this morning now, it's radar data, so it's not always 100% accurate, but the radar is suggesting that some parts of southern Georgia, and we're talking about from Albany over to about Douglas, Georgia, and then down to the Florida state line, may have received over 10 inches of snow last night. Now, some of that may have been ice pellets in the very beginning, but just unbelievable amounts of precipitation down there along the Gulf Coast region in Alabama, Northwest Florida, and southern Georgia. Just historic stuff. So if you're traveling south, and basically from those counties I just mentioned, but certainly from I-85 south today. We're talking about places like Eufaula, Troy, Ozark, Enterprise, Dothan. We're talking about Columbus. We're talking about Albany, Americus, down into Donaldsonville, back over toward Tifton, Valdosta, south of Macon in Georgia. Travel is going to be treacherous down there this morning, and I highly suggest you don't travel down there. And there's not going to be a ton of relief today. Yes, we're going to have some sunshine, but this cold air is in place, and where there is snowpack, they're going to struggle to get much above 32, so there's not going to be a ton of melting today. There may not be a ton of melting tomorrow. It may be Saturday afternoon, or in some locations where the really deep snow is, it may be even Sunday. Before those folks start to dig out down there. So just don't travel south of I-85 in Alabama or south of Macon in Georgia unless it's an absolute emergency, and then I'm afraid you're going to get yourself in trouble if you do that. It's really bad down there. It's hard to believe, But trust me, road conditions are not good. Now, I know millions of people are asking questions. What about the roads in Roanoke? What about the roads in Wadley? What about the roads in Franklin? What about the roads in Carrollton? I can't answer that question for you, folks. I'm not physically there. But I can tell you, if you received snow yesterday and your road was covered with snow yesterday, it's treacherous driving out there this morning. Don't do it. Use some common sense. If you think it's too dangerous to drive, then don't put yourself in that situation. Just don't do it. I think those areas that got just a dusting yesterday that may be a little slick this morning probably will thaw out this afternoon from radiational heating. Maybe late morning it gets better. But you get down there south of Chambers County, you get down there in Lee County, and Southern Troop and Harris County south, you're not going to get much relief today from any thawing. I mean, your roads are in bad shape down there, and it's just not going to warm up enough today to do a whole lot about it. Now, by the time we get into Saturday, high temperatures will be reaching the 50s, which will feel like a heat wave, and then rain will return to the forecast on Sunday. So temperatures in the 50s Saturday and Sunday, and then rain returning on Sunday will help clean things up in those areas that were hardest hit by the winter storm yesterday and last night across East Alabama and West Georgia. Just a reminder, because it is very, very cold out there and it is dangerous. There are some warning centers available for you. Across Randolph County, you got the Roanoke Police Department, Bridging the Gap Community Services, Woodland Senior Center, Wadley Town Hall, and the Wedowee Senior Center. This morning is the absolute coldest we have seen this entire period and this year, probably the last 3 or 4 years. So if you don't have adequate heat, take advantage of these warming centers that are available out there for you, because you can get in trouble really quick with temperatures like we have out there this morning. Speaking of which, let's take a look at your current conditions from the venue at 5 Points Farms this morning. Look at that, 14 degrees. I think we actually have dropped a degree since we gathered this data a few moments ago. We'll call it 13 degrees now at the venue. Wind out of the north-northwest, gusting to 4 miles per hour. Humidity is 69%. The barometric pressure, 30.52. Look at that dew point, 6 degrees this morning. High temperature yesterday, you never got above 27 degrees. Sunrise this morning at 6:43, and the sun sets this evening at 5:04 p.m. So we're looking at a mostly sunny day. We'll start the day with a few clouds, then we'll give away to sun by this afternoon, but we're not going to do much more than 35, 36 degrees across the entire area. Now, if you're down there in Chambers, Lee, Southern Troop, and Harris, maybe Southern Tallapoosa, where you got the best snow yesterday, I doubt you get much above 32 or 33 degrees. That snowpack insulates everything, and the temperature's just not going to get much above freezing today. But the rest of you, we'll make it to 37 in Ashland. We'll hit maybe 37 up there in Anniston, 35 in Ranburne, 35 over in Carrollton. Depending on the snowpack at Pine Mountain, anywhere from 32, 33, 34 degrees, I think, will be your high temperature this afternoon there at Pine Mountain, Georgia. Let's take a look at your 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. For today, mostly sunny by this afternoon, 36 for most of you. Those of you who've got, an inch or more of snow on the ground probably won't get much above 33 this afternoon. 18 the overnight low tonight, so we drop back off into the deep freeze once again. And in those areas that have snow, anything that does potentially melt, which I don't think is going to be much, will refreeze tonight. So travel problems will occur again tomorrow morning. Same thing's going to happen Friday morning. And in the areas that got the most snow, the same thing will happen again Saturday morning. Then we'll start to see that thaw Saturday afternoon. On Thursday, mostly sunny, 40 in the afternoon, down to 21. Again, these daytime highs do not apply to those of you who have good snow cover. You're just not going to get above 32 very much. On Friday, 41, 18. It's ridiculous. Saturday, 48, 25. And then finally, here comes some relief. On Sunday, we get rain in here in the afternoon, a 20% chance. 51 will be the high. It's going to feel like a tropical heat wave. 60% chance of rain Sunday night, down to 36. It'll be a cold rain, but we will be above freezing, so no problems there. And then on Monday, rain continues. We have a series of disturbances. It'll be running across the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to keep us wet for a couple of days to start next week. 51 Monday, down to 36 on Monday night. Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar look at the snowstorm exiting off the Atlantic coast this morning. We'll take you a little bit closer. It's snowing at this hour in Savannah, Georgia. How about snow at Tybee Island, Hilton Head? Up there, Charleston, South Carolina. Brunswick, Georgia. Got some snow during the overnight hours. Just crazy stuff. Now, the heaviest precipitation we could find during the overnight, like I said earlier, was down here from Albany over to Tifton, back over to Douglas, down to Waycross, Moultrie. There were some pockets in there that was indicating well over a foot of snow. I don't know that all of that did accumulate. We'll check officially a little later on today and let you know by tomorrow. But there were some pockets down here that's showing over a foot of snow along the I-75 corridor between Tifton and Valdosta during the overnight hours. And I think 6 to 8 inches is going to be very common along the I-10 corridor from Mobile all the way over to Tallahassee once all is said and done. But no precipitation this morning across East Alabama and West Georgia, and that is a good thing. Folks, if you get a chance to support us here on Dr. Don's Weather, we certainly hope that you will do that. And there are multiple different options for you at the top of the video on Facebook and at the bottom of the video on YouTube on how you can support us. That keeps us streaming here on Dr. Don's Weather for East Alabama and West Georgia. We try our best to bring you good local weather information, and we present it to you in a way that's easy to understand, or at least that's what our intent is. And I hope that you will support us every chance you get. And if you own a business and would like to be a partner with us, just send me a message on Messenger. I can have you started by the time we do our next forecast, which, if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, will be first thing tomorrow morning right here on Dr. Don's Weather. Y'all stay warm out there.
This has been your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Fincher Fence, Estate Masters, Southern Union State Community College, the venue at 5 Points Farms and Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. Dr. Don's Weather is supported by the Randolph County Commission, East Alabama Waste, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us with all of your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow morning with another edition of your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.